another gentleman who thought it would be really romantic to tie his engagement ring to a balloon.
All right.
I mean, why would you
I
though?
don't know. Have you seen that though when they do like gender reveals for
Yeah.
babes and
Well,
float off before the
You know what's coming next, don't you?
Somebody somewhere in that country has now got a lovely ring.
Yeah, Herman chewed the cow that ended up with the balloon wrapped around the horn.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, it's Heather and Tasha here from I Do Magazine. If you're listening to this, you're the first to hear we've launched our brand new podcast called WEDPOD.
This podcast is aimed at couples getting married to help them plan their wedding day. We're going to be chatting to suppliers about all things planning, including top tips and advice for couples, what not to do, and even hearing some real life wedding stories from couples who've had their day and want to inspire other engaged couples.
Anyway, that's enough from us. Here's the first episode.
Anyway, we're going to welcome today David from TIAGO Jewellery, and we're going to talk everything about rings, from proposing, pros and cons, fighting nerves and getting engaged. Welcome David. Do you want to just give us a little rundown about what you do?
Well, hello and good morning. I'm David from TIAGO Jewellery. I'm a designer and maker, so we actually design and manufacture engagement rings, wedding rings, any type of jewellery that you can think of. We actually do design it and manufacture. We obviously work with some of the largest wedding ring manufacturers in the country. So we actually have over 1,000 samples in the store that you can come in and look through, from diamond set to plain, to bespoke design, and fitted rings are our speciality.
That's a few.
That's a lot,
Probably the largest collection in South Yorkshire.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's why we were there so long when we went to visit your shop, because I was just wanting to try them all on.
Well, yeah, I think from a half an hour visit turned into 3 hours.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is as well, is obviously we've got a lot of samples that are available to view, but there's 1,000,001 ideas in my head that's not been made yet.
Yeah.
So obviously as we discuss things, it's like a combination of designs that you've seen or different styles. Obviously your ideas are limitless, they're endless. So we can basically show you a few concepts and show you as many different ideas as possible.
Oh, that's brilliant. I know when we come in, you did mention that people like men proposing, how nervous it is, and buying a ring, going abroad or somewhere in England, they propose to them, and then the bride doesn't like it. But I know you mentioned you've got a really good idea for this, or something that you do when people come in.
We do a proposal ring service.
Right.
So the stock rings that we have in the store, obviously they're live product with live diamonds. We basically take a view that the ring might not go down well, it might not be what the lady had in mind. So with the stock items, we actually allow them to go out. You propose, if the ring's not to what she wanted it to be, we just basically ask that it's unworn, you return, and both people can actually come into the store and actually look through everything that's available.
Yeah.
We explain about different diamond grades and the bespoke service. So obviously at that point, the recipient of the ring does actually get the choice of actually sitting down and either creating or looking through the store to see the exact style of ring that she does like.
Yeah.
The other way that we actually go about it is we sell what we refer to as a silver proposal ring. So they are very good quality, but obviously the cost implications is £50 to £150 rather than a full live budget, £1,000 to £2,000, £3,000, that type of thing. So with the silver ring service, the downside is that immediately you have to explain that it's not a real ring, and you are going to come back and actually design something.
It's just temporary.
Yeah, so this is like the man's going abroad or is going to propose. They can get a pretend ring or a ring from yourself, go propose, they can come in then and then she can pick it, so she's not going to be sat with something on her finger she don't like for the rest of the day.
Exactly. I mean,
Have you had that happen?
Once or twice, but it's not very common.
Right.
Obviously, from the perspective of the gentleman, he's got a lot of pressure on him. He's trying to make a right decision based on someone else's wish list.
In fairness though, if you ever watch things like Don't Tell the Bride, they don't get that right very often.
No. And a lot of the retailers out there that are running retail stores, basically when a guy's coming in shopping for an engagement ring, what they want to do basically is part him with his money as quickly as possible and send him down the road.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I don't let go of my sales until I know the recipient is happy with what they've received.
Yeah.
So even though I have to make the gentleman happy because it's him parting with his cash, my job is actually to make the end recipient happy with what she's going to receive. So and you know, we talk through all the different ramifications of the wedding ring friendly engagement rings to make sure that he's aware of that.
Is that what these props are for?
It is.
Well then, let's have a look.
And I've brought a wedding ring friendly engagement ring. This style of ring is what's referred to as a halo.
Right,
So-
so just to explain, this is like your band, and obviously the diamond's set in a circle. Is it, what's special about this then for it to...
It's referred to as wedding ring friendly. So
Right.
basically the shape of the ring is basically the area that would interfere with where a wedding ring sits has been removed from the design.
Right, that's why it's raised off then.
Yeah.
So it can be raised or it can be tapered in. The important bit is that any straight-sided wedding ring will sit with this engagement ring.
Right, okay.
I often see couples that are coming back. A lady might have been thinking of a certain wedding ring style that she's had a heart on, and when we look at the engagement ring, if it's not been chosen well in the first place, and it does require to have a shaped wedding ring,
Yeah.
and then I'm the person that's telling her that she can't have the wedding ring that she's just seen
Yeah, I
online
get
that
it.
she's set a heart on.
Yeah.
This is what I refer to as engagement rings that have been bought by the lone wolf.
I like that.
That's a good one.
Basically, a guy, he wants to propose. He feels reluctant to confide in his friends
Yeah.
because of the nerves and ramifications of, you know, how do you go about it? Where do I go? What do I do? We do have a lot of referrals from friends of friends because the amount of detail that we go into and the explanation, we try and avoid the pitfalls down the line.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of gentlemen that have come in and basically seen a twist ring or a shaped ring or a ring that's not wedding ring friendly. Once I explain the ramifications of what it means regards the wedding ring, then often they do change their mind.
Yeah.
That then gets brownie points
Well, yeah, definitely.
because the husbands or husband-to-be's actually thought about it
Yeah.
and not just bought a ring.
Correct.
Like that.
And I often see engagement ring styles that very much are lone wolf purchasers. So the guy has gone into a jeweller's, he's not had the relevant
Just bought
advice,
what he likes.
Panicked.
and he's basically bought something that is a difficult ring to work around.
Yeah.
Right.
Often the same sort of scenario. Recently, sapphires have become very popular again.
Right,
Okay.
okay.
And again, what gentlemen don't consider is when you choose a coloured gemstone for an engagement ring, that sends you in a direction with your palette for any clothing that you wear going forwards.
Yeah.
So
Don't think
coloured
about it,
engagement rings, obviously from my perspective, it's like, well, have you thought about the ramifications of matching nails? And it's an easy sell when someone comes in with blue nail varnish and you put a blue sapphire ring
Yeah.
on, it matches the hand, and at that moment it looks perfect.
Yeah.
If they come in with a pink nail varnish on, the blue stone's not so desirable. And it's exactly the same when it comes to wearing outfits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
White diamonds, white rings are neutral and they tend to go with everything. So you're basically playing safe,
that. Yeah.
and you don't have, men obviously don't consider what outfits ladies wear going forwards, and
I don't think they care, to be honest, do they?
No.
well, they do care when they choose the wrong engagement ring and
Well,
they
yeah,
go
'cause
in the
they're in
neck for the
trouble.
next
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So what you're saying is, if you're going for a shaped engagement ring, you need to make sure that it's friendly for your wedding ring.
No, I mean, a shaped engagement ring isn't necessarily wrong. We have a shaped engagement ring here, for example, which basically that is not a wedding ring friendly design.
It's very pretty though.
It is.
It is. But with the right advice and the right explanation, if you are aware that this is a direction that you're going to go in, a straight-sided wedding ring is not going to work with that.
No.
No.
However, a shape is just the opportunity of doing something a little bit different. So in this ring there are 2 pear-shaped stones, and I designed a ring that actually fits it together with 5 pear-shaped diamonds.
Brilliant.
We're able to rotate those round to create a different shape, and as you can see,
Yeah.
that fits absolutely perfectly.
Yeah,
It
that's
just
great.
looks so pretty.
And the other thing is that I refer to it as a jigsaw fitting. So
Yeah.
when you've got an engagement ring that's got a distinct shape or it protrudes out quite a long way, and a wedding ring is actually shaped to fit it and it fits it well, it prevents it rotating independently.
Because it's nestled in.
When you get an engagement ring that's only got a delicate shape that does require a shape to a wedding ring for it to align and to fit properly, unfortunately those delicate shapes are prevented from moving independently. So whereas in an ideal sort of situation, your engagement ring and wedding ring fits lovely, and all the adverts show the rings aligned.
Yeah.
What actually happens is the rings may only rotate a little bit,
Yeah.
and now it looks very untidy.
Yeah.
And the rotation of the rings is very, very difficult to prevent.
Yeah.
Right.
So when it fits snugly, like it does with this
That's
sort
not
of
going to
style,
move then, is it?
that's
It's
not
just
going
going
to
to be.
move.
I don't put it on my fingers. Oh, there you go.
That's not coming off now.
Oh no, I'm keeping it.
Thank you,
If you're going to
David.
steal a ring, at least make sure it's a real.
I'm not bothered. It's fine. It's a ring.
So as you can see, a shaped ring is just the opportunity of being a little bit more individual. And choosing a wedding ring is about choosing a good support act.
Yeah.
You don't want the wedding ring to be overpowering. You don't want it to be too small. It's a support act.
Right.
So what we actually do with this one is we took the detail of the vine leaves that run through the side and onto the shoulders,
Yeah.
and we incorporated that into a wedding ring, and that actually slots together again really well.
Yeah.
The detail on the 2 rings finishes at the same point.
Yeah.
It is interlocking, and they are matching sets.
Right.
You can see it's, you know, if you look down the
Yeah.
side, it's beautiful.
So a shaped wedding ring or a shaped engagement ring isn't necessarily a bad thing. You just need to be aware that you are going to be going in a different direction with your wedding band.
Yeah.
So it's a really good idea then to get a dummy ring, do your proposals,
Yeah.
then come into the shop, then you can actually get a wedding ring and an engagement ring that's going to work together.
Yeah.
Yes, with the proposal ring, for example, obviously there's the ability to buy a live diamond ring. If she likes it, basically, and it fits, you just don't return, it's good to go.
Yeah.
If it's a silver ring, what we offer is if the ring is light, then we can actually replicate that design and make it again in a real live metal and a real stone.
Yeah.
In which case then the silver ring that you've purchased becomes a dummy ring for any holidays
Yeah.
or any
Alright,
days
yeah.
out that you don't want to take your real ring. You've already got a silver replica.
Yeah.
Right.
For instance, if you're taking your ring in to be cleaned, polished, rather than have a bare finger, you've got a silver replica that you
Yeah.
can wear that is similar to your engagement ring.
Taking me on to that then, obviously losing rings, what are some tips that you give people where to propose or where not to propose? Or how
Generally,
to propose?
generally don't do it near any open water.
Yeah. Sand?
Sand is not as bad.
I've seen some people on holidays digging to find rings.
Can you
honestly-
imagine?
My honeymoon, I remember this couple, they dropped the ring in the sand and they got everybody digging to try and find it and they never did.
Yeah.
So avoid sand and
Nightmare.
water.
Yes, I mean there's a well-known story on the internet of a couple that got married or engaged, proposed on a bridge
Oh,
Yeah.
over a small
You know
stream
what's coming
river.
I know this story.
Obviously the guy was full of nerves. Between the 2 of them, they fumbled. The ring hit the bridge and unfortunately dropped straight through the slot in the bridge and into the stream below.
Oh dear.
Fortunately, a few people saw what happened, and I think at one point there was 40 people standing in the street trying to find this ring.
Oh, did they find it?
They did find that.
Oh,
That's amazing, that, isn't it?
I wouldn't have expected that.
No, you won't. That's luck, I think, at work.
Well, and
That is-
persistence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have packed him looking.
Yeah. Just get you another
I'd have
one.
gone, it's a dummy ring, you can keep it.
There's
Give me a Haribo lolly.
another gentleman who thought it would be really romantic to tie his engagement ring to a balloon.
All right.
I mean, why would you
I
though?
don't know. Have you seen that though when they do his like gender reveals for
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
babes and
Well,
float off before the
You know what's coming next,
Yeah.
don't you?
Somebody, somewhere in that country has now got a lovely ring.
Yeah, Herman the cow that ended
Yeah.
up with wrapped around the horn.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously the ring floated off.
Yeah.
And then another story I recall that a guy thought it would be really romantic to rope in their pet dog,
Oh.
tied it to the dog collar, and the dog decided to run off chasing a squirrel.
Came back without the ring, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he missed it.
Oh,
So obviously when you're proposing, it is a nervous thing to do.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, when we have a lot of proposals that are done abroad and away on holiday, and there's always a little bit of advice that I give people. Obviously, transporting a ring through an airport, how to conceal it, how to hide it. What I always recommend that people do is they wrap the ring in tissue and place it in your wallet.
Yeah.
At that point, your partner understands where you're panicking about where your wallet is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I get it.
Like
Yeah.
that.
Your wallet goes through security, never comes out. Your empty box goes through your suitcase empty.
Yeah.
Put it inside a sock, try and conceal it. If your suitcase goes missing, it's an empty box that's gone.
Yeah.
No harm done.
I always say that as soon as you can, get through the proposal, because then both people are responsible for looking after the ring.
Yeah.
When you arrive in your hotel or your destination, you put the ring back into the box, but you don't want to then dawdle about going through with the proposal.
Just need to get it done.
Because
Rip the plaster off and get it done.
there's every chance that she'll find the ring
And ruin it.
and ruin it.
Yeah.
There's every chance that the cleaner in the hotel room will find the ring and you come back to an empty box.
Yeah.
So, and plus you're away on holiday, and I know that gentlemen are very concerned about trying to find the right moment.
Okay.
So I always say, look, get on with it. Don't do it in the hotel arrivals lounge.
Yeah.
But as soon as you arrive, do the proposal. Then basically you're both responsible for looking after the ring. If it's too big and it's slipping off the finger too easily, for God's sake, don't let her go in the pool and the sea wearing it.
Yeah.
Obviously at this point, you've done the deed. Hopefully she said yes. You then get to enjoy the brownie points for the next few days.
Yeah. I love that. That's brilliant. Get it done so it's sorted and then just
Yeah.
enjoy your holiday.
I've heard so many stories about gents that have been panicking about when they've gone away for a few days and be looking for the right moment, the right point.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of pressure, you know. It's,
Yeah.
you don't want to get it wrong.
No.
And basically then your partner starts to pick up on the fact that you're edgy about something.
And they create something else totally different
Yeah.
in the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Thinking they're going to finish them.
obviously you've got to conceal a big box as you're walking around.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
however, get on with it
Yeah.
and then enjoy your breakaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously relevant brownie points that come with it.
Yeah. Do you know my mother-in-law proposed to me?
See, that's just bizarre.
It's not bizarre.
It is.
Well, it is bizarre because I wondered why she put a ring in my glass of champagne.
All right.
And you know that obviously drinking the drink with a coin or recipient in it is where it comes from.
I have no idea. I just thought, who's put a ring in my glass of champagne?
Spoiling your drink.
Spoiled my drink, yeah.
That's where glass bottom tankards come from.
Is it?
So in Dockland areas, what they used to do is pressmen would used to go around and basically drop a coin into a drink.
Right.
And if you drank the drink, it was basically you was accepting the king's coin,
Oh.
and you was then press ganged into going on to warships or merchant ships for years at a time sometimes. So you'd go down the pub with your mates, and basically you'd come back 3 years later with a tan.
Can you imagine?
No.
Oh God.
And that's where the glass bottom tankard comes from, because you used to pick the tankard up and look and make sure that there wasn't a coin in
And
it.
that's then
before.
why you put a ring in your drink.
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
Conjuring to getting engaged.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, she did it for
Are
me.
you still happy?
We're still married. We're still married. 20 years this year, believe it or not.
Oh, congratulations.
Well, now you
Yeah.
know what to get your mother-in-law for Christmas, don't you?
Yeah. I get a tankard.
Put a coin in, send her off to sea.
She'd probably enjoy it. Oh no, that's brilliant. So on that then, so dummy rings are really good, especially if you're travelling abroad, because you don't want to lose it. Because if you lose a dummy ring, you're not
Exactly,
losing the real thing.
Yeah.
You can come back, you can have your ring made, and then she's going to be happy because she's got the ring of her dreams. And it also can make sure then that we can tie it in with a wedding ring. We never get married on a bridge.
No. Well, proposed or married.
Proposed,
Yeah.
proposed on a bridge. And just, being wary of what people are going to, like, you know, if you can pop it on a dog to walk down an aisle, got to think of all these things.
I mean, if you've got a well-behaved dog, fair enough.
I don't know if there's any dog that's well behaved in situations of people getting married.
Well, yeah.
We have had successful dog proposals, trust
Yeah,
me.
have you?
We have done it, yeah.
Oh. What have you done? Fastened it round their collar?
But generally at that point you keep the dog very close to you.
Yeah.
But we have had some successful ones as well.
Yeah.
So not everything is a
Doom and gloom.
disaster.
Yeah. Another topic just to go over, the reusing of jewellery, because a lot of people now, they'll get like maybe a pendant that's been grandma's, it's been passed down from generation to generation that nobody wants to wear because they're out of fashion. I'm guessing now, is it like a good thing that you can easily like melt a ring down and repurpose it?
Yes, so again with trends, ladies for the last few years have basically been focusing on white metal. So
Right.
inherited jewellery is generally gold and it's yellow.
Yeah.
So it's a bit more of a struggle to actually use those yellow metal rings for modern purposes. Gents, it's a little bit different. We have a lot of gents that have inherited granddad's wedding ring or the dad's wedding ring, and the style of the day, you know, 40, 50, 60 years ago, was for a very broad ring, even for ladies. If you think back to grandma's wedding ring, it might have been 10 or 12 millimetres wide.
Yeah, they were really
Yeah,
big,
really big
great
ones.
big bands, yeah.
So what you actually get is quite a broad ring that a lady doesn't want to wear, or a man basically, it's dad's ring. It might fit him, it might not, it might be what he wants to wear. He might want to wear dad's ring, in which case it's just a simple case of adjusting it for size, polishing it up. Historic jewellery like that, you can repolish it and it will come up as new.
Right.
What we often do is basically we will melt metal down and make him a new style ring. So if he doesn't want a 10mm wide ring, but he's got quite a bit of gold, we can actually melt it down and maybe make him a 6mm wide ring, which is thicker and heavier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's granddad's gold, but it's now your wedding ring.
Yeah.
So we've restyled it.
It's the sentimental value,
Yeah,
isn't it, that you carry
definitely.
through.
Yeah, and you know, with the white elements of engagement rings and yellow metal, we've done other things like make earrings or a pendant for a lady out of something that was inherited, so they get to use it.
Yeah. Is it really popular now for people repurposing jewellery?
We do see it quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'd say that more recently, ladies have they have an engagement ring, and once upon a time, it was either your 10th anniversary or your first child, you'd have a diamond set eternity ring.
Yeah.
Now basically they're cutting out the weight. So basically ladies now are just going straight for diamond set wedding rings.
Right, okay.
That's good thinking.
Right,
that.
so your plain rings have not been as fashionable. They want a bit more glamour and a bit more glitz. So, you know, there's no difference really between a diamond set wedding ring and an eternity ring. With eternity rings you might get a 5 stone, a 7 stone, 9, 11 stone. So you do still get eternity rings, and a lot of people will still have a balance. So they will go for a plain wedding ring to start with. A wedding ring, the symbol of it is an unbroken circle.
Okay.
So it's like eternal love.
Yeah.
That is where a plain wedding ring comes from. There's no beginning and no end to it.
Mm.
Oh,
Forever.
I'm learning
Forever.
lots today.
So a lot of people still are choosing plain wedding rings, and they can balance it on the other side with a diamond set eternity or wedding ring to create the balance.
Yeah.
Like I said before, the idea behind choosing a wedding ring well is that it's balanced and a support act for your engagement ring.
Yeah.
There's obviously when you put one ring on one side of an engagement ring, at that point the centre line becomes unbalanced. So a lot of people are putting one each side to create that equilibrium again and create that balance between what's on your finger.
Yeah, an extra ring then.
You do, yeah.
There's another little ring that we actually do that is a little bit of a cheat, which we refer to as an offset castle.
I can see why.
Oh, it's like the castle turret.
Yeah.
Yeah, so from the side it looks like a castle turret, but if you actually place that, basically if I showed you a matching wedding ring for this, when that sits next to it,
It's like one. Yeah.
it blends into
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
It throws the centre line off. However, with the offset castle, what this actually does is it creates a buffer between the two.
Yeah.
Right.
And now it looks like you've got 3 rings on.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So there's your plain band, your diamond set band. When you get the proportions nice, we line them up with the head on the engagement ring.
Brilliant.
So this is another style of ring that we do. Again, this is a straight-sided wedding ring, but we can also do these on a curve if your engagement ring doesn't or does require a shaped wedding ring, for example. So we have done those on a curve as well. Another ring that's been popular for the last few years is a pear shape, and a pear shaped diamond obviously is in reference to the shape of the stone, which is there. Now, a little bit of a bugbear of mine, ladies will come in wearing their pear shaped engagement ring with the point facing towards them.
Right.
It's just me.
Means nothing to us, that does it?
Yeah, it's just
I've not got one on today.
You had a quick look to make sure you
Check.
didn't.
it's a little bit of a quirk of mine. I view the point on a pear shape as a little bit of a negative.
Okay.
So to me, it's like a negative symbol.
Why?
So
Yeah.
it's just a point, you know.
So
Usually,
you're thinking eternal, it should be circular.
what I do basically is turn the ring around. Now, the pear-shaped diamond is following the shape of the hand.
Yeah,
Alright,
it is. I
yeah.
get that. Where your fingers point.
And basically, the pear-shaped diamond is directional. It has a point.
Mm.
So now the point is pointing away from me.
Yeah.
However, there's another really important point. Traditionally, when you get married, you do not have your engagement ring on.
When you get married.
It's after your marriage you put your ring on.
Really?
So
Yeah.
you get engaged on your
You do
wedding
not have
day,
a
you do not have your engagement ring on.
Really? I never knew that.
Yeah, I did know that.
Other hand, bridesmaid at home. Whenever you see wedding photographs of people's hands on their wedding day, the engagement ring is never there.
You had yours on, didn't you?
Yeah. I'm going to have to check now.
So with a pear-shaped diamond, a centre line on the stone, with the pear shape you get more of an overhang on the point side.
Mm.
When you get married, your wedding ring goes on first.
Yeah.
Then when you put your engagement ring back on, the wedding ring actually fits underneath the curved side,
Yeah.
which has got less of an overhang.
Yeah.
So less of the wedding ring is actually hidden.
Right.
So remember that basically when you get married, wedding ring goes on first. That's the traditional way of doing it, because when you get married the engagement ring is not on. But also bear in mind that there's no ring police.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can do whatever you like.
You can
really,
do whatever
can't
you like.
So you're fine.
Fine.
You're fine.
I'm not going to ring prison.
No, you're not. On another one then, David, what, if someone's having a wedding ring, engagement rings, what kind of timeline do they need to give to get them in time for the wedding? Because I'm going to guess you get people coming in and they'll go, it's 2 years away, which is great if they're on a budget, but you might get people, and I'm talking from experience because I'm a bit last minute with things like this, you come in and they go, we're getting married in a month.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Can you make me a
I've actually
ring?
had that
I
as
can
well.
imagine.
Yeah.
Totally.
So what kind of timescales would you set to go down for
Right.
things like that?
Depending on the complexity, we can make pretty much anything in 3 to 4 weeks, generally.
Is this
That's
building it from
manufacturing.
beginning?
That's
Right,
manufacturing
3 to
bespoke.
4 weeks.
If it's a plain wedding ring, with that type of thing, because of manufacturing techniques, it's better for us to choose rings that are actually spun rather than cast.
Okay.
So at that point we use manufacturers that, some of the manufacturers will hold stocks of these rings.
Yeah.
So we can pick the phone up and literally have a wedding ring with us tomorrow.
Right.
Right, so plain wedding rings are fairly straightforward, and for the quality of the metal, that's the preferred route that we take. We can, however, also buy those plain rings and we will do the diamond setting in them.
Right.
So that we can do as quickly as a few days.
Yeah.
We don't like to work under that pressure. Generally, when a couple have got 2 years to choose a wedding ring, so they're going to push it back into the grass and not worry about coming for a consultation, I always say that's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah.
As soon as you know you're getting married, what a lot of couples will do is that they will plan the wedding, spend up, run out of money, leave rings till last, and then they've got no budget to choose the wedding ring of their dreams.
Yeah.
Right.
For me, the wedding ring is the only thing that you buy for your wedding that stays with you and is on your hand for the rest of your life.
True.
It's totally
Yeah,
right, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah.
So to my mind, you make sure that you get your dream wedding
Yeah.
ring that is exactly what your heart desires.
Yeah.
What we always say is, even if it's 2 years away, you come in for a consultation with us, we can show you the range of rings, we can explain all about the bespoke side, we can take a few notes of anything that you like the look of. Then what we politely do is kick you out. Right? Go away and think about this. Think about it for as long as you need. At that point, when you put the right amount of thought into it, everything else that you choose for your wedding is just for one day. So if you make the slight mistake or it's not quite what you thought,
Yeah.
it's not a big deal. If you get your wedding ring wrong, it's a big deal because you've got to look at it every day.
Yeah.
When you think about it like that, there's so many people that do, like, you'll spend all this money on the dress, you only wear it once, you know,
It
and
goes in your
hair
attic.
and makeup and all that sort of stuff, your venue, fair enough, you can go back to your venue for anniversaries and stuff, but your ring, it's, you don't, when you say it like that, it's so simple and
Yeah,
so obvious.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
So what you're saying is leave it, make it like 2 years. So as soon as you're getting engaged,
Yes
start
and no,
looking for a
there's-
wedding ring,
there's
even
a
if it's
couple of-
planting that seed.
Yeah.
There's a couple of avenues that we sort of say to people. If you come in and you see the exact ring that you want, and you know that that's the one for you, then you've got 2 years to break down the cost and to pay for it
Yeah.
over the next period of time.
But what if you change your mind?
Generally that's unlikely.
Okay.
I
But
think
this
it's
is,
like a dress, isn't it? They
Yeah.
get the dress and you put it on, you feel like a princess, and
Yeah.
you get your ring and it's yours.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
yes, I mean, like I said, with dresses are made for one individual. If we make a ring for someone that's a size L, and you change your mind, there's every chance that the next person through the door is going to be a size L and likes that ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's actually an element of, it's not ideal, but we can actually deal with this.
Yeah.
My job is to make sure that the lady is happy. Not on a wedding day, my job is to make sure that she's happy in 20 years.
Yeah, I get that. It's a lifetime purchase.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you've got to look at it, you've got to choose wisely. If you come in for a consultation and you're undecided, you basically just go home and you allow yourself the time to actually think of
Yeah.
the ideas that you've got to mull over,
Yeah.
and hopefully with the right amount of time you invest in thinking about it, hopefully after all of that you make the right decision.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
David,
That's fab.
you've been amazing. Thank you very much. And thanks for coming today.
You're welcome.
When are we getting a ring?
Yeah, ring. A real one.
Yeah, not a
You get
pretend
rings
one.
for services rendered. That's generally how life works.
Thank you very much,
You've
David.
been brilliant, thank you.
Well, that's the first episode wrapped,
Thanks for listening,
and we'll see you on the next episode.